Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Monday, the 11th of March. Starting with the FTSE, we're back at the 50-day moving average. We're back at the floor of that symmetrical triangle there at 76.30. Below that, we're looking for the 200-day line, 75.40. Otherwise, a break of 7,700 would take us up towards the top of that rising trend channel from back in August, 78.40. The negatives are the way that we've failed twice in the upper 50s. And we're actually now below RSI 50, the neutral level. So that does hint that we might have to break down, even if we later head up towards the top of that channel. So not looking fantastic at the moment. Moving on to the DAX, and here it's been a roaring bull run, but even here we've gapped down from that previous target there, 17,800. We want to see an end of day close above 17,800 to get up to the top of that rising trend channel from back in October, 18,400 by the end of next month. On the downside, the initial stopping point, or hopefully support point, would be late February resistance around 17,400, but hoping that this market won't go lower than that. If we do break down, it's the floor of the channel, it's the bottom of that last gap, and the 50-day line near 17,100. Moving along to the Dow, and here the market blocked by that resistance line there from February. That's around the 39,000 level. So we want to see an end of day close above that to get us up to a new leg, 41,000 plus by the end of next month. Otherwise, it's back down to 38,000 and the area of the 50-day moving average in that zone. The RSI is still above neutral 50, so that does give us hope that there might be another attempt at breaking through that February resistance line. But probably the most likely scenario is a retest of 38,000. He would be then head higher after that. Moving along to Bitcoin, where there are no such quibbles about its performance. It's been looking absolutely great, and we had a revised target. We were looking for 70,000 by the end of this month. Now we're looking for 80,000 by the end of this month, which is the top of that January rising trend channel. Upside valid while we hold above the late February resistance and the floor of the January channel there at 64,000, so looking pretty set fair. And if you look closely, you can see that today so far has been a key reversal to the upside, i.e. breaking the weekend support around 68,000 and then heading up to new highs. So very strong candle there on that market. Moving along to gold, which is obviously, or was the old Bitcoin previously, here racing up towards the top of that rising trend channel from back in March last year. Around 2190, above 2190, we're looking for a July resistance line projection, which is heading as high as 2260, and looking for that hopefully by the end of this month. I'm just trying to color it red, so 2260 there by the end of this month. Upside value while we hold above the old December resistance around 2160. So hopefully with that old resistance will come new support on any pullback. Moving along to the stocks, and good to see Armadale Capital back in business, or we hope it's back in business, bouncing off that falling support line there from back in November. That suggests we are in a broadening triangle base, and that above 0.55 we could head up to as high as 1.2 pence, retesting the January resistance by the end of next month. Bit of a punchy call, but while we're above recent resistance at 0.64, that is what could happen. Aptamer is next, and one of those stocks that I think I'm the only person who actually follows this or charts it. Here we've got a gap to the upside. The resistance here, rather obviously, the 50-day line there at 0.91. So if you're cautious, you wait for end of day close or weekly close above that. But while we're above recent March resistance of 0.75, we are looking towards the 0.91 or 0.95 area, which was the late February peak. Revisiting Acuity, which still near the lows of the range, but has broken, or this month, or at the end of last month rather, broke the June resistance line there around 4 pence. Above 4 pence, we're looking for the 200-day moving average at 5 3/4. And it would be nice if we got an end of day close above the 50-day moving average at 4.37 pence. Uptrend line in the RSI window, so that does suggest there is some positive momentum coming in there, and it's worth seeing that we're above the old November 4 1/4 support. The longer we stay above that, the more sure we are that 5 3/4 could be hit later this month, or maybe going into April. Barron oil I covered over the weekend, but you can't get too much of a good thing. Here we're looking for this market to close that gap. 0.67 is the level there. We're at 0.60 at the moment. If we can get an end of day close above that, the minimum on the upside should hopefully be the 200-day moving average at 0.84 by sometime during this month. Ideally, the shares remain on the right side of the 0.50 level, backed by that uptrend line in the RSI window. I covered the next stock a few times in the recent past. It's Clean Power Hydrogen, and here you can see going into this looks like a mid-move consolidation bull flag, just toying with the 200-day moving average. The original target here, or initial target here, was 19 pence, so above the support there recent days, above 15, looking for 19, above 19 up to 26 pence, hopefully by the end of next month or sooner. The 50-day line rising very well. First target there was at 12 pence, and that was hit relatively easily. On to Emmerson, where you can almost smell the potash, and here you can see that the feeling that the market was bouncing nicely and seeing the 200-day line there was correct. That was the last time we looked at it. Also, what's important is that we're bouncing above a rising 50-day line, which tends to be a bullish signal. We've hit again our initial target there around 2.8 pence, above 2.8. On an end of day close basis, we're looking to fill that July gap finally, hopefully later this month or even sooner. Obviously, we had one go back in February to fill that 3.6 pence gap. On to Helium 1, where we were hoping that the shares would stay above the 50-day moving average and the floor of the gap there from February at 1.42 pence. They haven't done that so far, which means there's a risk of hitting the floor of that falling trend channel from the end of January at 0.87 at the moment, roughly. If we can, the best thing today would be if we can close back above that 50-day line around 1.36. Let's see if the bulls can step up to the plate there. IUG is next, Intelligent Ultrasound, and here we've broken what was basically a falling wedge and broken the 50-day moving average and a resistance line there from September at 9 pence rather. We need to see an end of day close through 10 pence to give us the target of up to 15 pence by the end of next month. So the high lows there giving some confidence along with that bear trap rebound that we had at the beginning of February. I don't see much coverage of the next stock, MTI Wireless, here or anywhere, but we have managed to gap up through the 200-day moving average after the RNS today. Looked like a solid news release above the 200-day line of 39.5 pence, looking for 52 pence by the end of next month or even sooner. So finally a turnaround there on MTI. We were suspecting that Mosman would be turning around, and here the suspicions proved to be right. The sideways shuffle at and above a rising 50-day line tends to be a very good leading indicator, one of the dark horse leading indicators, and it means that we're currently at 0.18, looking for 0.32 or 32 by the end of this month, especially if we can hold above recent resistance around the 18 levels. An end of day close above 18 would be great, and obviously we don't want to go back below 15 in the meantime. RSI bounce just below the neutral 50 level also helping, so let's see if that charting call goes well. That would be quite a result. NMT is next, and here you can see Neometals starting gingerly to make a turnaround. We've had an unfilled gap to the upside, so we had gaps down back in February and a gap up now, which suggests that we've got a bear trap island reversal. The situation here is that we can head up to 10 pence as soon as the end of this month, while we remain above the gap floor around 7.5 pence. Again, if that works well, then the charting will be somewhat miraculous, one could say. Powerhouse Energy continuing its recent consolidation, basically at and around the old August resistance. That was 0.83. We can have an end of day close back above that after today's news with HUI, then we still have 1.3 pence or 1.4 pence by the end of this month. Moving along to Quantum Blockchain, which was a requested stock by a esteemed follower, and here it looks as though the bullish signals here with the multiple tests for support around the penny level have kicked in for the shares. RSI is pushed above 50, and we're looking for 1.75 pence during the course of March after the break through the 50-day line. 1.2 pence, ideally we stay above that 50-day line ahead of a move to the upside. Another stock which was where we were sniffing around for a turnaround is Synairgen, and it's up 10%. Here it looks like we're in a broadening triangle base. We've now had a key reversal above the Friday range and above 5.6 pence, looking for initially the 200-day line at 7 pence, maybe over the next week or two. Best case would be up to 10 pence by the end of this month, or I suppose going into April. Nice rebound there for the RSI above neutral 50. That also helps the cause. On to TM1, which is a stock which never seems to die, which is probably good. Here you can see that we've got this V-shaped bull flag just toying with that resistance line there from back in June. 1.2 pence above that, looking for 1.6 pence over the course of the rest of March. Ideally, we stay on the right side of a penny there. Big news today from Zenova, and here the shares, another one which seems to be have sort of 9 lives. Here with the old low there in January, 2.18 pence. Above that, we're looking for up to 4 pence during the course of March, and it would be nice to see an end of day close above the 50-day line, the blue line there at 2.8 pence, sometime over the course of this week. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.